Howdy, folks. Welcome to Live from Midgar. My name is Jeff Curran. Today with me, we have
Peter Kim.
Neil Mustaine.
And Alex Scott.
down here from British Columbia, beautiful British Columbia. He is, if you're not aware, he runs the mycitiapost.com. A lot of great content there, a lot of good meta-analysis, and I suggest that you check it out.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. We just had our pre-release today for the new set, Opus 10. It was a lot of fun. It was excellent. We had a great time. Talk about that in a minute. But first, I just want to talk real quick about Nationals. Both Peter and I went to Nationals 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
And we had a lot of fun. We had a great time.
It was
Made
really fun.
37th, just barely missed Top Cut. And Peter here made, what was it exactly?
Day 2. Let's just call it day
Okay,
2.
day 2. Made day 2.
Yeah, made
It
day
was
2.
great. It was
Yeah.
great. Congratulations to you making
Yeah,
day
thank
2.
you.
Proud of you. Proud of you.
Yeah. Yay, did it.
Best player in Seattle, obviously. Congratulations.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. I mean
it's
it's
only
proven.
If,
It's
only
you know,
if numbers matter.
yeah. This is a card game. They matter a lot. How did you feel about 2-deck format?
2-deck was really cool. I think it's a very skill testing format because you get to test not only gameplay but deck building as well. Though I did hear a good point about it that like it did favor teams a lot more because they could collaborate and like test together and really figure out
Yeah.
dig down deep and find out like what's good. So as an individual player, like it's a little rough, but I enjoy the format.
Good.
It's a cool format.
I did too. I liked it a
Yeah.
lot. It's not something that I would want to do super often, but I really enjoyed it. It was cool.
Yeah.
Really made me branch out. I'm a hardened Earthwind player, and so it made me, trying to come up with something else, and I just stole somebody else's deck entirely. Whatever.
I mean,
it
they
was
did
good.
it right, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
it worked.
mean-
it worked.
I mean, realistically
Yeah.
speaking, if we look at the deck lists, I mean, that kind of...
yeah.
For sure.
Anyways, Nats is really good. I'm glad that we did that, and let's talk about the pre-releases. How'd you guys do? You went 4-0 today.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Uh,
I won the
won.
whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure
won.
did.
It was
At Critical Strike last night, I went 5-0. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Had a just insane pool. Try had an insane pool today. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
did
was
he
two
really?
color.
Yeah,
He was an
he
ice
had
fire
two
only.
color,
Oh,
no
really?
splash. He had Zach, 4 soldier third classes. He had Genova, a Sephiroth to trigger Zach. He had Ignacio, just one of the most insane
Yeah,
pools
boy,
I've ever
Ignacio.
seen.
Yeah, it was gross.
It
Yeah.
felt like I was playing against a constructed deck.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it really did.
It was bad.
As far as sealed goes, honestly, I think Ignacio might be the best card in the format.
I really, really like
Well,
Ignacio.
And not just sealed. I mean, I think that there was a little bit of some thought about, is he going to be good enough for constructed? And I'm starting to come around on that, even without the X Burst compared to like Barret and Azure Dragon.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for him for constructed. He looks like a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
him being a constant source of revenue, just drawing new cards every time that he hits, and then being able to protect himself is huge.
So is it just when it hits, or when
Whenever
it hits
he
it
deals damage to anything?
Yeah.
to anything?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seems all right. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like an Azure Dragon. Like
Yeah.
that's a good.
Yeah.
That's a good
And
comparison.
then it's
Yeah.
and then it's discard a fire card for +2. So there's like this fun guessing game where
Yeah.
you're like, okay, well if
Except with
if
the
I
mono
if I Balasa him for 10k, does he have the card to discard? You know.
right.
Well, and
I,
when you're playing Try, he did. In fact,
yes, every time.
I mean, his deck was basically 50% fire, so yeah, he had,
Yeah, I was playing Try, and he had 2 cards in hand, and I Sid Mobiused it for 12k, and he's like, "Sure, discard 2 fire cards."
13.
I mean it's still good value because the Sid essentially cost me 0. So
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
nice, but
He pitched 3 fire against me to boost it all the way up to what,
to
like
15.
15.
Jesus Christ.
But it didn't really matter because it had already hit me like maybe 5 times that match. So he had
So
tons
he
of- he had so many resources
Yeah.
to spare. Yeah,
Yeah, that
exactly.
Ignacio is fierce. Another
Yeah.
card that I really liked was Cloud of Darkness. That
Yes.
card was played against a couple of Heinz yesterday, and that card is oppressive. But because like nothing deals with it, they're just like, all right, discard a card. You can't target it. Whatever. It doesn't take damage from anything. Well, Cloud of Darkness kills the crap out of that. It's like, oh, is it dull? Yeah, it's your only dull character. Yeah, select a dull character and put it into the break zone.
Yeah, it's pretty
Whoops.
sweet.
No, so that was a lot
and,
of fun.
And if it's not dull, you can just be. Oh, can you dull and can you freeze it then at least the dull and freeze, or you can end up.
Yeah.
You still have to.
I had the Sarah engine, so I was able to pretty much just dull whatever I wanted, along with the Cloud of Darkness. So that was really handy. The Sarah engine, whew, Let me tell you, that's really
It's
strong.
really good.
Yeah.
I kill the Sarah on the spot every time.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah.
you just kill that Sarah. I mean, being able to put Mog into play at instant speed also makes Knight, like you can pump it at instant speed, which is nice. And so much stuff you care about, whether it's dull or not, like the Scylla. So that was really strong.
Yeah.
Ice was just I think it might be the best element as far as sealed goes.
Yeah, well, so we saw a ton of ice played across pretty much everyone, but
Mhm.
what I saw was Earth Ice, and it was
Earth,
always
yeah.
Earth Ice X, and that X was a splashed color. So
That's what I did both days.
A lot of
Right.
Earth Ice Lightning, a lot of Earth Ice Fire. I think that those were the two best combinations, and that maybe Wind and Water were the two weaker elements in the.
I think
sealed,
that
or-
they're going to have some a little bit more gas in draft, but as far as sealed goes, yeah, they just don't have the outright power. They definitely have synergy, which
You
know,
just you
draft
have
is
to have
gonna-
Sky Pirates for Wind Water, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if you don't have a critical mass, then it doesn't work.
I mean, I had a
Yeah,
ton
yeah.
of them yesterday,
Yeah.
and I didn't even consider it.
I mean, you
yeah,
also
yeah.
had,
yeah.
you also just have to have the right ones of them too. I mean, there's
Yeah, yeah.
obviously there's a hierarchy, and if you get the bad ones,
Yeah,
then like
Yeah.
it's like cool. I've got 3 of that one.
Yeah, Raz is really good, but it's like if
Yeah.
you get kites and no Vons, you're like, all right, I don't.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I know
Agreed.
Miles was complaining about that both days. He's like, yeah, I got a bunch of kites, but no Vons, so I'm not going to play kites.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, that disappointed me. That was one of my pulls was I got a foil lightning today, and I was like, oh, this would be cool to play. No
Right.
Odins.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Man,
I
yeah.
blame
Yeah.
Steve. I blame Steve because I texted him earlier, and he lied to me about being in Everett, which was first off, which was you son of a bitch. And then secondly, he was like, whatever you do, don't pull lightning. I was like, you son of a bitch, I'm gonna pull lightning, and it was in my second pack. I was like, I'll sneak in 2 7-drop Odins. No one will know.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't work.
That'd be sweet.
So another cool interaction that I had in my deck. So I was playing in 5 colors. I decided to do 6-pack sealed anyway, even though we were moving. And so something that I opened up. Actually, I opened up in 4. So we were playing best of 3s. You should know. But I opened up in 4 different matches.
Oh my god. Yeah, twice against me.
Yeah. I'm totally blanking on the 4 CP. I spoiled this. The 4 CP lightning backup.
That searches for
Oh,
lightning.
Aldo.
Aldo. So I
Yeah.
opened Aldo into Garland.
Oh,
and
it's
then,
such a good open.
and then you play
yeah.
Garland, and then you're set up.
You don't have anything you can possibly sacrifice to the
Mhm.
Garland, so you just have a 3 CP 9K first strike. And 9Ks are so
Yeah,
relevant in the
exactly.
format that having a guy that just wins combat against 9Ks is
And
Yeah.
And even if it, and that, I mean, obviously the 9Ks are good. You know, 9Ks are great in sealed and limited formats.
Yeah.
The fact that he gets that first strike as icing just for the power bump and the reduction of, you know, the setback
Yeah.
of having to break a 3-cost character. And not only that, there's a couple of other cards that you can at least combo that with if you happen to get it later, that it's not just going to totally just ruin you. Because you can at least get some value off of that, but it was just, he did it to me in 2 of our 3 games. And
Yeah.
it was just like, oh,
Yeah, I heard
Oh,
someone
yeah.
I heard someone managed to play the Garland and then broke his own Ron Pair, who plays out an
Yeah,
11
yeah,
forward,
yeah.
and I don't know what he played, but I don't care. Like that's just
That's
just good.
value. That's
Yeah.
value.
He could have played Naji, like the 1 CP7 that can't attack, and I'd be like, wow, that's a great play.
that card stopped so many Zidanes for me today.
Naji.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, all
It's
right,
like-
all right.
it's like
He's got uses. All right.
Yeah, because it was like this 1 CP, drop the 1 CP out. I mean, yeah, I can't attack with him, but
Yeah.
I can buff him up in theory with certain things. But even if not, it was like that Zidane is just hard to get rid of if someone puts it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had
and
the
that card
Kunmi.
is just like,
Luckily, I had the Kunmi both days,
me
and
too.
so that was
Yeah,
able
Kunmi did.
to stop it. Kunmi, I was really impressed with.
Yeah. Well, two CP7K. I mean,
Yeah.
you're already in business there
Yeah.
for limited.
Yeah.
that's
and
pretty
because it's character, she just is.
Yeah.
That that helps.
Genova, absolutely one of my MVPs for the weekend. Like, I thought that card was really interesting, figuring out when you should attack with it and when you don't really want to do that 2 CP trade from both players' hands was a fun problem to solve. And then it being a 9K and
Yeah.
just once you're ahead and you just pressure them with it was so strong. I was really impressed with Genova.
Yeah,
That
it
was one of
actually
my
made
favorites.
my opponents. It forced my opponents to play out their hand, even if I didn't want to attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I decided to attack, then they would just lose the last card that was insane or
yeah.
whatever. Like,
And
it's skill testing, right? Like,
Mhm.
and it forces them into a bad spot, and that's why I think it's a good.
Yeah.
card.
Yeah, and I think we'll probably see at least one ofs or something in that in constructed, just because
Mhm.
in right now you don't really get to do a whole lot of punishment for that because that's one of Ice's keys is like if I force you to dump your hand, I'm going to Sid Allstein you, which here is not quite the same. But yeah, you get that down early. They play out a little bit, to kind of counter. If you counter whatever they countered, then that Genova just rolls and it's like, you're losing a card every turn.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
that.
I think I'd almost always play Azure Dragon over it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just really depends.
It's a
I mean,
really
we're
competitive-
already not playing Eduardo,
Yeah. Eduardo, yeah.
We need more bards.
right? Right.
That's just a really competitive slot for Ice anyway.
It
at the
really
5
is.
CP, so
The other one of the other rares that really impressed me was Black Tortoise Lassie Gilgamesh.
Yes.
Even without Enkidu, with Enkidu, Jesus fucking Christ, playing him for 3 was absolutely bananas. But there was so much ice in all of the sealed pools that him being undullable was just incredible. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. Big sealed MVP.
Mhm.
And speaking of the dulling, can we talk about the brothers?
oh yeah,
Just
oh
in
my
almost
god.
every single deck I saw today.
Yeah, Even Oil being able to fetch them up was
Yeah.
really strong. Both of them are good on their own. Just
Elden Arsh, so that's the 5 CP that dulls a forward.
Yeah.
Like that alone in limited is just great. You've got a beater, you've got bypass so that you can win games, and that was just putting in a ton of work. I only drew 1 in my pack, but I played it as many matches as I could because it works on so many levels for this sealed meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camelot was really easy to trigger. A lot easier than Squall in, what was it, Opus 8, where if they've got a dull forward, they discard a card. This guy is, I think, in limited at least, he's so much better than Squall. Even though, like, it's the same stats, basically. Like, 4 dull characters is so much easier to hit than 1 dull forward.
Yeah.
And so he just was a 2 CP AK, like, every time that I ever saw him.
Yeah, he was great. I got both. I didn't get the Searchers for the brothers, but I got the brothers, and then I got. I had Enkaidu with a Prish and the Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
I also had the Fire Forward where we were talking about. I had a couple of really good 9Ks, but Eldarsh was great because I had also pulled Uni.
Yeah.
So I had a number of summons. I had the backup Terra to search for an ice summon. I had 2 of the Kuthiths.
Kusiths, yeah.
So like
that
I
guy's
could,
super
yeah,
good.
so I could do some stuff. So it was great because it was near the end of that game, getting towards 5 points of damage. I have Elnar down, and it's like, oh look, I'm at 5 points of damage. I can now block and then cast a summon to bounce him to put him back and deal 3 of your
Une,
dudes.
yeah.
Like
I thought that
oops.
card was only main phase. Une?
Une?
No.
Yeah. I thought like only on your turn it could trigger.
I don't think it's on. I don't think it says on your turn, does it?
I think
believe
it
so,
is
yeah.
one
We're cheating?
turn. Yeah,
I think it just said once per turn.
I believe
It might be.
I think it's once per turn, and
Yeah.
it's only on one of the turns.
Yeah.
Your own turn, I think.
I think so.
I don't know. We'll have to read it. Maybe
It's
I was
not on
cheating.
FF
Oh, yeah.
decks.
No, it is on FF decks. You don't.
Just don't
cookies
have it.
suck.
Okay, well I'm gonna go
The
off.
cookies
on
are stale.
On a ramble
Yeah.
while you guys.
Yeah,
search.
go for it.
So there are 2 other cards that I thought were really cool. Were the Zuzu Hisa, the 1
Oh, I
CP
was just
Earth-
going to talk about him.
Yeah.
That guy's so good. Yeah.
It was really hard to play around. Although in sealed, you're going to play around it a lot easier because of all these little cantrip X-burst summons that can deal with him without really losing too much value.
In the finals yesterday against Ryan,
only
he
once.
had only on your turn and only once
Oh,
per
it's only
turn.
on
Yeah,
your
yeah.
turn, okay.
Playing against Ryan in the finals yesterday, I had 2 Suzuhisas in my deck, and he played out Ash. And I'm like, oh, great. Well, you have a trigger that you have to do at the start of combat. Here's a Suzuhisa. I'm going to draw 2 cards. And then drew another Suzuhisa. Jammed that in front of his face. Next game, he played Bosch, who has another start of combat trigger. Played Suzuhisa, Kusith, played Suzuhisa again, just drew a million cards against him. It was great.
So the other one that helped me out a lot was actually Sakura. So if
Yeah.
your opponent has a damaged forward, draw 2 cards. And, I mean, you only need to get to 6 damage. So you're playing a forward, you're drawing 2 more cards. And sometimes I just Hail Married into whatever was in my deck, and I found answers. I did the damage.
I was so mad.
And then drew into the next thing that I needed to do.
Yeah.
But also I had Pinello, the new
Mm.
Pinello 2 CP, and you can ping. It's
Dole
like-
for 1k to everything once you're on damage 3, yeah.
and then that was just a really nice combo.
Yesterday, Josh had Mutski, the
Oh, yeah.
4 CP Dole for 1k, and then reactivates whenever you. I totally ran a Suzuhisa into it without thinking, and that felt really bad. But Mutski's my Ryid for 1,000. Plays Sakura, draws 2 cards, gets the 4-drop monster that does 8k, and just like owns my
That
owns my Ryid. I'm
that
like,
4
are
drop
you kidding?
that 4 drop monster for 7 9K when you're on damage 5. straight up shut me down in 2 games.
It's actually 8 and 10.
Is it 8 and
Yeah.
10? See, that's
Yeah.
even worse.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's great.
Yeah.
All the
Uh,
monsters in this set are really strong.
Yeah.
Actually. They're
Yeah.
all very good.
Mm-hmm.
The Lightning 3 CP Kana Kumoi.
Kanakumui.
Yeah,
Minus
that's what we're talking
7.
about.
Yeah.
Minus
Minus
7.
seven.
That was what I was talking about.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
that I gave you a hard time with.
Yeah,
Win
you
one
shut me
sucks,
down,
though.
like, straight up just.
Yeah.
Which one?
The win one, I feel like it can possibly they can just never you can just pitch or summon, right? Like
Yeah.
instead of just playing into it. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
does
Yeah.
provide protection. I think it just goes in a certain deck. But
The-
Gargonzola was good. Gargonzola, the Earth
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
really
one's
like. I
good.
read
Plus 2K.
3 of him today, and
Yeah.
it was tops.
yeah. I mean, you're always trading up or
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
setting up something. You know?
Until
cheap,
Miles
yeah.
played Feel Thanos, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I don't want to give him plus 5K.
So is Feel Thanos as much of a
He was difficult. He was really difficult for me to deal with one game, but then the next game, like I just had enough 9Ks that I didn't care about him.
Yeah.
It's like he was just a super expensive 9K to me. That was all. So I mean, there are games where he's going to be really strong, where I was relying on like Balasa and the Gargonzola, and I just couldn't do anything with them. But then there was another game where I just had a bunch of fatties, and I did not care about him at all.
Opus 10's Arden.
Oh yeah, I mean he's easier to deal with than Arden. Like you can
Yeah.
actually just like hit it with like combat tricks or like
Well-
not combat tricks, like fire. Like
Yeah.
fire is a good way to deal with it. Cuchulain's decent.
and he
You
just
can't,
also
you can't cuck him.
You can't cook him.
No,
can't get that cuck in there.
Why
he,
can't you
he gets canceled.
Yeah, he's got a Lewis
But
bubble all the time.
He
Oh,
doesn't have
God.
Brave, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah.
I did get to Sid Mobius him off EX.
Oh,
That
that's
was
nice.
sweet.
I
That
like
was
that.
great.
That's
Sid
yeah.
Mobius is so satisfying. I hit somebody for like 20K with it. Guy next to me just starts laughing. He's like,
Yeah.
20K? What? That was
A
great.
lot of
That card's really good.
Yeah,
I've already
yeah.
seen like on multiple forums people saying, "Oh, it's the worst Raubon," and it's like they're obviously comparable, but they're different cards and they go into different decks.
Yeah, and one of the nice things is like you can plan around one of your forwards getting removed. So like, say you think your opponent's going to have a kill spell and you want
Yeah,
to 8K something, you just have 3 forwards and you play Sid Mobius and you're like 12 of them. What are you going to do? Kill one of my forwards? Your guy still dies.
Yo, no agreed.
So if we had to summarize this sealed for everyone, if like you have a theme that you're gonna take into, if you haven't done a pre-release yet, would it be March of the 9Ks?
Yes, 9Ks are super important. I think they're going to continue to be really important in draft.
It's
There's-
just limited in Final Fantasy in
Yeah.
general, though.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's-
but there's just so many that it's like you can't. I mean, in previous formats, like if you had a couple of really good removal spells, you could kind of ignore them, but you can't do it here. There's so many 9Ks.
Yeah, this current format doesn't seem to me to have a lot of enough removal. So the removal, most of the removal is step removal. So you see you see those monsters that are like at 5
Yeah.
that can take out those 10Ks. To just straight out take out the 10K, you've got not very many. You've got the Mobius that we're talking about,
Yeah.
which you need 3 forwards for to be able to do.
Well, it's 8K on 2 forwards, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Ballas 8K on 4. I think Shiva is really strong. I think once we get into draft, the removal is going to be a little bit more common, and I think that problem is going to be solved a little bit more.
That Shiva, you can select your own forward if you need.
Yeah,
to do-
yeah.
So
Which is a little awkward, but
You
like
might get your own forward
having
tap
having
something.
to have both targets
That's-
is awkward.
that's the tough
sometimes.
part,
Yeah.
right? And I totally missed an opportunity and then later found out and did it where they attack with all their forwards and you want to just ping one of them off for 4 CP for
Yeah.
9K. It's not bad.
Yeah.
So you'd need to doll one of your own forwards. And it's
I had
kinda-
I had
Oh,
someone
sure, yeah.
I had
Yeah.
someone I had one blocker left. I was at 4. He has 2 attackers. He swings with 1. I don't block it. Go to 4. And then he Shivas to 9K his own forward and then dull my last blocker and then swing in with his other guy. And I'm like, what? All right, you won. But that was a really cool play.
Yeah.
That Shiva is
good. He
really
won.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The new Ifrit. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, that card's
8K
so
and
sweet.
for 3. 8K for 3. Like I'm already sold.
8K3, 2,000
Yeah,
buffs
and then
to fire
plus 2,000
forwards.
to all your fire forwards.
It's
That
too
was
bad
really
that
good.
Miles isn't on right now because that, on this very podcast he went on about how Fire needed this 8K power for a 3 CP cost and
Yeah.
it's finally in the game. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a good card.
I think this is shaping up to be my favorite limited format so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, well, maybe
I mean,
draft
we'll
will
see.
be better.
We'll see. That's a very hesitant
Sealed,
opening.
I played I went to a full hour in best of 3 in almost all my matches.
Yeah.
It's very grindy for me.
This sealed is
so-
definitely grindy.
I'm not sure. It's fun, but it's still like
There-
I'd rather
there-
have formats that not take an hour to play 3 matches, right? Like or 3 games.
I don't know. I guess I just had a lot of ways to punch through. I had like I had Legendary Squall both, and that was like
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
legendary.
But that's also,
Yeah.
but that's also the difference between sealed and draft. At least in
Yeah,
draft, I
yeah.
can try and pick those things. Where in
Yeah.
sealed, either I get them or I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's
And
fair.
We are the exception to the rule that most places will be playing best of one. Like going
Yeah,
forward,
yeah.
if there's like at Worlds, for example, they're going to draft this set. They're going to be playing best of one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm. Interesting.
So, what do you guys think about Opus 10 Standard so far? Any thoughts? Anything you guys are excited to build with?
Fire Wind seems really cool.
Yeah.
It seems cool.
Yeah.
I mean, but you really want to be mono fire because all the payoffs are in like mono fire.
I don't know.
But-
I've been wanting to do Firewind for a while,
I know.
just for Terra Diablos.
Terra Diablos
Yeah,
is very
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, Terra Diablos is cool with Sid FFBE now
Oh, that
being
card.
in,
Ooh.
just like and that being able to be Phoenixable as well.
I don't know that
You know,
Sid.
I don't know.
I don't know that
think-
Sid is the best card in this Opus, but I think he's going to be the most impactful on the metagame. I think that he provides a nice.
A check.
Yeah, a check. If you play
Yep.
Magic, you know about like Leyline of the Void, and you're like, okay, well, you plan around how many people are running Leyline of the Void at any time. Is it worth playing a graveyard-oriented deck where if they have Leyline of the Void, they just win? If I think that people are not running Leyline of the Void much, maybe you play Dredge more. And I think that that cycle is kind of going to hit Final Fantasy at least for at least Sid FFBE, where if you've got really strong like Renoa decks or decks that cheat guys into play like Vaughn, the more Sid is in the format, the less you want to play them. And so
He's a well-designed bullet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because he's not horrible, but like he takes care of a section of decks that like could potentially be abused
and
Yeah.
hard to deal with.
and hard,
generally.
and is a decent card on his own.
Mhm,
Like his special is pretty good. He is a 3 CP 7K with a really relevant
Yeah.
ability.
And because he
like-
2Ks stuff anyways, like you can he stops anything 2K
Yeah.
automatically, and then you can combo him with stuff like 1 CP Ramu, which I've always felt was, I don't know, a
1
little
CP Ramu.
underappreciated. 7K to a damage forward.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's EX burst,
It does have EX burst, yeah.
Yeah.
which
mean, I
is
think
it's a
he's-
hard EX burst to hit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got someone earlier today in a ridiculous Dark Lord deck that we don't need to talk about. But he was swinging, and I Mutski'd one of his dudes on the off chance, and then I totally EX bursted
Well,
Ramu.
And
That's
now
great.
you'll before you take damage, you hit the dancer or the Pinello.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Because when lightning, maybe that's gonna
Yeah.
gonna come back.
Anyways, what I think is one of the really cool combos with FFBE, Sid FFBE, is Chaos Walker.
Yeah.
You're just like, unless they put out a 10K, he just kills whatever
Yeah,
they
yeah.
play off Chaos Walker.
No, that's
So that's really cool that you don't really have to splash into water for Yuna in order to play Chaos Walker anymore. I'm really excited for that.
He seems sweet.
Yeah.
I like it.
That opens up Wind a lot
Mhm.
because Wind is always kind of backboned on from a summon perspective like that. It's always kind of backboned on water, just on the off,
It's
to
true.
try and use that from that perspective. I mean, I think we're gonna see. I don't know. It's just Wind seems like it's got a couple of different ways to play.
Yeah.
It seems like they're really tight on slots. It's one of
There's
those-
so much good win stuff right now. Yeah, I agree.
Big time.
I'm excited that Pinello can get water back up now. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Otomage or whatever.
Yeah, wind water didn't need that at all.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I'm excited. That's really cool.
So two cards that we haven't talked about that were really good in our sealed today, and a lot of people ran, but will be good and constructed for sure, are the light and dark heroes for the set.
Citra and Heen.
And
No, not
Reagan.
Heen. Reagan. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
I'm excited for Reagan especially. For a while, I was playing a combo that James Greaves of Midgard.blog kind of popularized, where you use Star Sybil to put Hraesvelgr into play.
Yeah, I
and
played
then,
that too.
Yeah, and then Hraesvelgr gets you the Star Sybil back, and now you can do it without playing the light package, which leaves Star Sybil able to continue to grab Camelot, and then Camelot can grab Reagan, and then Reagan can grab Star Sybil back.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that,
They seem sweet.
yeah.
And there's going to be the
And with Riku
Emperor
out of the
Gestal.
format, you're not going to mill yourself.
So the question is do we see a Star Sybil or a Similafina ban soon?
No.
I mean, they just printed
No.
sick. They just printed sick.
No.
Just because you say no because you want to abuse it doesn't
No.
mean it's going to happen.
No, Star Symbol's my favorite card.
I was really excited they printed so many 11 cards in this set too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I can play better backups, and like I can
Yeah.
fetch something other than like do random crap I
Yeah.
usually get.
Although we did
I
get
mean,
some
you know,
random
random
11
combo.
backups that you're not going to see.
Yeah.
Joker.
But you could if you wanted to.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, Reagan's really good. Citra also opens up a lot. Between her and Terra, like you get so much recursion for your summons. She can recur monsters as well. So there's that opens up a lot. That's going to be interesting to see what people build there.
It'd be pretty cool. What we need is we need to see a light card, that does Kamlanot a little bit better, so we can get
Yeah.
Cosmos, so that we can
When's the last time
run
somebody
Light
saw
Unit or something? It's
Cosmos?
just-
Like Opus 5 Warriors of Light?
The only time I think I've ever seen Cosmos at all, Warriors of Light and or Shank type Zero decks. That's
Yeah,
the only
yeah,
time Cosmos
yeah.
shows up, because you always feel bad not playing Light Ace.
Yeah. Another card that I was that I'm really excited for is the new Cloud of Darkness. I'm really glad that it's in a different element than water, so you're not like, you're not clashing on name. And the enters the field ability I think is really strong.
Yeah.
Like especially if you can sacrifice like the new Evenail, I think is going to be really strong. Being able to get Kamlanot in an element that isn't Earth. So like you've got a 1 CP backup, you sacrifice that to Kamlanot or to Cloud of Darkness and break whatever dull guy they've got.
I mean,
Excellent.
You've got Goomba too, which has been seeing
Yeah.
a little bit more play. That being able to be in there. I think Ice has a couple of cool abilities. I also think that Ice, also has a couple of cards that do work by sitting there, and the ability to have
One of
Cloud
them,
of Darkness
Scale
to be able
Toad,
to attack.
really
Scale
works
Toad,
well with Cloud of
for
Darkness
sure,
because that's
100%.
like you swing and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, one of the cards I select is Scale
Yeah.
Toad. Like I don't care that I'm dull freezing
And if
it.
you do that, you've got other cards like Big Daddy Vayne, 4 cost, I kill your dude's Vayne.
Yeah.
Because yes, he's big, but generally speaking, you don't want him. I mean, you're not going to block with him anyways, usually, unless you have some crazy, Mattias.
Sure, yeah.
Unless you've got some big trick, you're
Yeah.
not. You're gonna, oh no, my guy that's gonna kill your dudes is Dole.
Yeah.
Garland. Oh no, my Garland's Dole. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's just these are cards that like you don't really particularly care
Yeah,
about,
Garland
but are
Knight is
just gonna
another
sit there
great
and just be like.
Option.
Great, I Dolan freeze 2 of your dudes. Oh no, 2
Yeah.
of my dudes
I
are
really
Dolan
don't
frozen.
like what you're saying right now. It's so uninteractive and like so like, just tap all your dudes. Like, okay, I'll hit you. All right. You're doing nothing. Okay, cool. I'm gonna hit you again.
think
Yeah, speaking of which, we all hate you, Ryan.
yeah, with Flan the
Ice
way that it's
players.
been, I know Flan. Yeah, see, I'm an ice player. Yeah, I'm sorry. I think we might see less Flan unless you're running specifically Ice Earth, just because Lancer unit can do it without having to tap. So,
Yeah.
oh no, I froze my Lancer unit. Ooh.
Yeah, it's not
Like it's
bad.
just the same thing. Just like I don't know. I think
I don't know. The Flan package is really good.
it is.
It's too bad the new Gargonzola can't get fetched off it because it's card name Flan, not job Flan.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm excited to play Gargonzola anyways, but more options are.
I just
Can we
think
put
that-
cheese?
yeah,
We can put cheese in cheese deck. Sorry, I know it's garb.
So one thing that's going to obviously check Cloud of Darkness a bit, and tracking back to Ignacio is, are they going to be fine with Diabolos? Like if we're playing in a heavy win meta, is that card still going to keep these 5 cost and hires out?
That card's so good. I think Fiel Thanos was like kind of intended to help against that a little bit.
But
I don't
that's
know.
CP.
yeah,
7
and that's
CP,
going to be
Yeah, I don't. He's a lot. He's a big
that's not
boy.
going to be in the same deck as either of those cards too, like Cloud of
Yeah,
Darkness.
yeah. That's
So
true.
I think Cloud of Darkness does enough on its own, but is Ignacio going to be fine? Because I think that it actually is good enough to be in constructed, and it's going to be good in a ton of different matchups.
Yeah.
It's going to be able to evade removal, and it's going to get a lot of value very quickly. But especially if you pair it with Fight Summons and Earth, and that's also a combination.
Cat and Kier, Raban,
You might lose some of your
Titan.
your protection with the discarding a fire card, but you gain protection from Earth.
Yeah.
But it really does just die to removal.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think Ice. I mean, again, I played Unai today, and so I think that Ice has gotten a couple of bonus kind of benefits for summons. They've got a little bit more recursion. We get some from here.
Yeah.
We have some of the old stuff, and I think that there's a deck to be made that's. Garland Scale Toad, Cloud of Darkness that does shenanigans.
Yeah.
That goes heavy summons because you've got your 1 cost Mattias, you've got your 1 cost Alera. It just does work, and it's one of those like, if you're attacking me, and I don't want to lose it, or you hit me with the attack, I can just, if you try it on my turn, I can just pick it back up and put it down.
Yeah.
I mean, the ability to flicker on your turn makes half things less as scary.
Sure.
Yeah. Une seems really nice. Doga seems nice. A lot of really cool cards. I'm excited to see how the metagame turns out.
It opens up a lot of interesting deck building space where you can you have to sacrifice a lot to try to get some sort of a payoff, and it's going to test your deck building skills, because if you're not able to deal with the CP loss of playing these expensive cards, then these cards are never going to see any play. So I think that we're going to see, kind of like what we saw with Death Machine and even like 5 CP Lulu, there's going to be people that are homering hard trying to make these cards work, and it's just cool to see more of them coming into the game.
R.I.P. Death Machine. You were taken too early.
Yeah, that card is really good. The way before it got around, it was too good, to be fair.
I want to do a quick shout out to Shantoto 3CP Legend, because that was a card that I didn't initially like, and then I came around on it hypothetically, and then I played it today, and it's fine. Like it's just a good value card that
Nice.
almost always does something fine for you, but you just can't really run a lot of 3CPs, or you need to check your deck with the Seer. What's her name? From Final Fantasy 13 too. Yule.
Oh, Yule. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's going to be a real thing that you'll do. So
Yeah.
I mean, you probably just build a deck with no 3s except for the Shantoto and hope you don't hit
Yeah.
Shantoto.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
are you going to run one, right? Like,
yeah.
and there's so many good 3CP forwards, and it's just
Right,
it's
yeah.
an important number to have in a deck. And
Yeah.
I mean, you can have there's
Yeah,
more
you can't really cheese it like I cheesed Vanille by running only 4s.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Lua, Zidane, Ishtal.
There's too many
There's too
good
many
ones.
good cards.
Like maybe if we start to, it's kind of like in a Fusoya deck, the 7 CP Fusoya. If you have these 5 CPs that search when they enter, and then you can maybe get around it. But even then, like you get in a lot of trouble if you run into discard or just kind of a resource battle, because those are top heavy
Yeah.
cards to play. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of experimentation with that as well.
Anyways, thanks everyone for coming out tonight. We should probably close up.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time to get on the road.
Check out the mycidiapost.com if you haven't. Great site. There will be a link. Thank you very much. And this has been Jeff,
Peter.
Neil.
And Alex.
and we'll see you all next time.
Boom.